All right, with these, we need, on the practice test, we got problems 11 and 12. We just need to realize that we have those, the x square root 2, and we also have the x 2x and square root 1 and x square root 3.
Yeah.
Right? And so if I plug in 1 here, right? Then I'm going to have this be 1. This is going to be 2, and this is going to be the square root of 3, right? And this would be 1, and this would be 1, and this would be the square root of 2. Okay? And if I'm looking at cosine or tangent, I know that cotangent is equal to the adjacent over the opposite, right? Because it's the opposite of tangent. Okay? And so, I need to look and go, well, how am I going to get the square root of 3? Well, it has to deal with this. It has to deal with this triangle, right? And so, how do I get the adjacent triangle? This is going to be adjacent. What's it adjacent to? It's adjacent to this, right? And this is the 30, 60, right? So, this 30-degree angle is adjacent to this, and it would be over the 1, right? So it would be the square root of 3 over the 1, which would mean that this has to equal 30 degrees. That's it. Okay? Because this is your adjacent. This is your opposite. Adjacent over opposite. What's cosine? Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So, I need something where the adjacent has to equal the square root of 3, and the hypotenuse has to equal 3. And I don't see that anywhere. I do see the square root of 3. And if I think about this, could this also be 1 over the square root of 3? Isn't that the same thing as square root of 3 over 3? Yeah. So, then what I'm really looking for is an adjacent that's 1. So what's adjacent to 1? Okay? And the hypotenuse is the square root of 3. Oh, is this cosine? I think it was supposed to be cotangent. That's not going to work. Right? Cosine is not going to work ever, because the hypotenuse is never got the square root of 3. Now, it's not going to work. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to work for this, but could we plug it into our calculator and figure it out? Absolutely. So if I took the calculator and watch, this will not be a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I obviously, this should have been cotangent of this, or tangent, or something like that. Okay? So I probably messed up on the S, and that S should be a T, is really what I think happened here. But if we take the inverse cosine of the square root of 3 divided by 3, we would get 54.7. 73? No. And so the only way you'd actually be able to find that one is by plugging it in your calculator. And that's okay. You can do that.
This is your one.
Okay?
And then
Does that make sense?